Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a white gold bridge and a gap spread. And the way it works is a look at past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridge and gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also, keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that away, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Three of Coins. So this is actually Capricorn energy here. So I can see this playing out a couple of different ways. Could just be saying that you really were just devoting a lot of time and energy toward building up your finances and really weren't able to put much energy toward the connection. But another way I see it playing out, if we look at her facial expression, she doesn't look too happy. So I feel like this is saying that you might have had the desire to build with this person, but you might have felt like they weren't really participating or willing to participate in building a stable connection between the two of you. Alright, past energy on their side, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is actually Virgo energy here, and usually Nine of Pentacles represents a very single, independent energy. And what always stands out to me with the artwork in this card is we see he has a pair of scissors and he's like cutting a strand of her hair, and then we see that fire in the background. So to me it says that there's probably a passionate connection between the two of you, but with them cutting that strand of hair, I feel like that represents them wanting a part of you but not wanting to commit to you necessarily. So, for example, they could have been viewing it as more of like a friends with benefits, more casual thing, and you possibly were the ones looking for more stability in the connection. Alright, present energy on your side, we have the Princess of Cups in reverse. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Cups in traditional tarot. And if we see her facial expression, she looks a bit reserved as well. And then with this coming up in reverse, that basically points her in the direction of the cards on that side. So I feel like this is saying that the feelings are still there, that you still have those feelings for them, but I feel like you're not necessarily coming out and expressing them to them, because the page or the princess in this deck in the upright would represent taking that action. So I feel like you're kind of keeping your feelings to yourself. Present energy on their side, we have the Four of Swords. So this is actually Libra energy here, and usually that's an energy that represents healing. So for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you're healing their wounds that might lead to them acting in that way. For some of you, it could represent also a desire to repair the connection, but I feel like this is still representing more than anything them being a bit isolated, I feel. So I don't necessarily feel like there's going to be communication coming from them in the present either. Alright. Future energy on your side, we have the Ace of Arrows, which is the equivalent of the Ace of Swords, and the Eight of Coins, which is Virgo energy. So I can see this playing out a couple of different ways too. For one, Virgo energy for you guys is your 10th house of career and social status, and this card definitely gives me that vibe of like an entrepreneurial spirit, because it looks like he's quite literally making his own money. So for some of you, you could just have that epiphany that this person isn't ready and just basically go back to building up your career a little bit more. Now, for some of you, and I feel like this is probably going to be a smaller percentage of you, you could just have an epiphany that you're still willing to put in the work toward the connection, and possibly even realizing that because you had such a heavy focus on your finances that you haven't put much energy toward actually building the connection. So I feel like it's saying that you're going to try to play your part now. But yeah, like I said, I feel like that's a little less likely, but it's definitely possible. Alright. Future energy on their side, we have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, and the Nine of Swords, also Gemini energy. So if we think about the fact that Gemini energy for you guys is your opposite sign of partnerships, relationships, contracts, could just be saying that they will actually make that effort to be in a committed relationship with you, but I feel like this could be saying that might be a bit out of their comfort zone, because here we saw that independent energy. We see them attempting to heal it, and toward the future, we do see them, all right, we're going to move toward providing that, right? But with this Nine of Swords here, this is usually an energy that represents a lot of anxiety. And as far as that healing energy, if we look at the black cat there, how it's crossing their path, if you think about that old superstition about that being bad luck, it could just be saying that they might feel like they have bad luck in relationships, so that could be what leads them to act in that way, to where they're usually treating relationships in a very casual way. So I feel like this is saying that they're going to be putting the effort in, but there's probably going to be some underlying anxiety there that they feel like, okay, well, whenever I get into relationships, things seem to go wrong. So just be mindful that might be their thought process, even as they try to put more energy toward the connection with you as well. All right. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Eight of Arrows. So I do have to say, in a way, you might have a similar fear yourself, because this is Gemini energy too. And here we see a lot of anxiety as well. So I feel like you guys both, it might be a step out of your comfort zone for both of you to be in a more stable, committed relationship. It does look like you're more willing to do so. But part of the hesitancy on your part could be due to that fact too, where you might, the way you might do it is to throw yourself more into your work to kind of push away relationships, whereas they just might be the more casual player type energy. But I do see there is the desire there to put in the effort on both sides. But again, I just feel like it's going to be a bit of an adjustment for both of you. And beneath that, I will say we also have the Judgment card. So this could definitely be a situation that comes back around during the Mercury retrograde we'll have in Libra toward the end of September. And we see Fortune under that too. So there's definitely some potential for things to improve in this connection. But like I said, I feel like you both have to be mindful that it's a bit of an adjustment for both of you. All right. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Hanged Man. So this usually represents looking at things from a higher perspective, but also often represents not taking action too. So, for the time being, I feel like they're not really going to be the ones making much effort toward you. But like I said, it looks like that might change in the future. For some of you, could be dealing with a Pisces, but I feel like this is just pointing more to the general energy that they have right now. Trying to see things from a higher perspective too. So that could be what that Four of Swords is about. Where they might actually look at it and say, okay, yeah, I do have feelings for Sagittarius, right? Maybe actually being in a more committed relationship isn't normally their thing, but through looking at things from a higher perspective, they might actually try to make a more conscious effort to do so. All right, so hopefully that all resonated with you. And next we'll move on to the Oracle cards for us to see if we get anything for Naka Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here we're just going to be looking for unspoken messages from you to them and from them to you. If I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just move on to the next Oracle deck, but occasionally we get extra messages here. All right, nothing coming up, but I'll give it a couple more shuffles. Yep, nothing coming up there. So next we'll see if we get anything from them to you. Oh, and we already got two that don't want to go back in the deck. So see what we got on their side. Okay. So we have surprise. It says big happy changes are coming when you least expect it. So I don't see like a huge surprise energy on their part, to be honest with you, as far as them randomly coming forward with a gesture. It could be possible with that Lover's energy there, but I don't know. Maybe that's going to be what that Ace of Arrows energy is for some of you. And then we have Karma. It says, my life is falling apart and I'm struggling. So I do have to say, for those of you, like I said, if they were more of like the player type, right, where they did more casual connections and didn't really try to build anything stable, that might be why they're in that Four of Swords energy currently, because maybe they did come across a situation where karmically that did blow back on them. So that might be why we see the Four of Swords energy and also the Hanged Man energy, where they're trying to look at things from a higher perspective. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and then we'll wrap up. Alright, so nothing's coming up, so what I'm going to do is just put the deck down and just give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull a card, alright? Okay. We have the tribe. There's the artwork, and the number is 8. Okay. It says community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. The Oracle's message. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our tribes, families, and communities. In a tribe, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in a group provides a sense of belonging, of kinship, and of purpose that comes from working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Perhaps you are part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Perhaps you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of its form or focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the tribe, your presence is needed. So definitely an interesting message there. And as I was reading that, I was thinking to myself, you guys might have gotten that card in your general reading for this month as well. Because I was mentioning how there's a ton of energy in Libra, and that's basically your 11th house. So could be a connection there. So if you guys want to check out the general reading, maybe that'll give you a bit more insight as well. The relationship message says you're discovering the essential qualities that you share with another, and perhaps also those you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads, and times when you lead and the other follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another, accepting the truth that everyone has flaws as part of that dance. Yet you are also being asked to be aware of the dynamics you don't want to repeat. You're in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be together. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. Like I said, it looks like there's just a situation where you're both going to be a bit out of your comfort zones as you try to make this into a more stable commitment. It does look like there's some potential there, but of course there might be a couple of stumbles along the way with that process. So I hope that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.